It was a dramatic situation, I can assume, not just for us but for all future parents.
We looked at the news and tried to find out as much information about what's going on.
We arrived here during the war to pick up our child and simply to see this little miracle.
That's something which is very inspiring and should inspire other.
Why did we come to Ukraine despite the military situation? We signed a surrogacy contract in February 2022, literally a couple of days before the war started. I remember when we heard the news that Ukraine was under attack, we naturally started questioning ourselves. Will everything be okay? Will our program even begin? Or will BioTexCom possibly cease operations? We didn't know any of this. It was a dramatic situation, and I can assume not just for us but for all future parents and all the staff, and it wasn't easy for the clinic here either. In the beginning, no one knew what would happen. But the contract was signed, and we were assured that all contracts would be fulfilled without any doubt. So we just waited, and at some point we were informed that our surrogate mother was pregnant, and then of course we no longer had any doubts that we would see this through to the end, and we would come here to pick up our baby whether there was a war or not. And we saw that everything was going well. BioTexCom was well informed about the situation then, and could give patients good advice on how to proceed. As Manuel said, you can fully rely on this clinic. It was the right decision.
We looked at the news and tried to find out as much information about what's going on. And Kyiv is in a safe area, and it's got the best air defenses outside of maybe Israel. And just watching what was happening in Kyiv, we realized that it's a safe city. And in fact, my expression, I would tell New Yorkers when they voiced concerns, I said, more people die on the New York City subways being pushed onto the tracks than people in Kyiv from attacks.
In the normal course of treatment, you need to come twice, once to leave samples and another time to pick up the baby if everything goes well. We completed half of the program before the war, so we made the trip during the war to pick up our child and see this little miracle. And in reality, everything else no longer matters.
We've been here for only a month, and we don't feel any danger. There is indeed a conflict with Russia in Ukraine, but we are not under any threat. I just wanted to say that, honestly, we didn't expect the program to go so quickly. We arrived in July of last year, the surrogate mother became pregnant in October, and honestly, considering the result, there's no need to hesitate, take action.
Many interesting people that I've had a chance to meet over here, because they're also like me, people who would make this step over a time of war. And it's been really eye-opening for me in many ways. I think it is possible to be quite safe. The BioTex accommodation has got a basement where the meals are taken, so that's safer than being, on a high floor or something like this. So it's always possible to go to the basement, to have some water if there's a bomb siren, or to just chat with people in the basement and to just stay there until, the sirens. So sirens do sound, and then there's an app that you can download where you can find out when the sirens are going to be and where the warnings are. And you download. So I downloaded this app, and and when the siren goes, it's there for a time. So sometimes it's a few minutes, sometimes it's longer. And in that time, one of the things that you can do if in the BioTex accommodation is go down to the basement, or you can position yourself in a sensible place, so not facing, the potential any strikes that might be coming from the east. And then it'll probably be okay, and you'll be fine.
Well, while we were waiting for Kira to be born, we spent a lot of time walking around the city. It seems calm to us. Of course, we were informed about what to do in case of sirens, and BioTexCom showed us a shelter where we could go if necessary, but it never came to that. We walked around the city center, went to a concert, visited the theater, did some shopping, and dined at restaurants. It doesn't feel like the country is at war. Everything is just as it was last time.
Kyiv is a beautiful city. It's we did a little bit of homework before, but we didn't realize the depth of its beauty, its history, and probably most important, its beautiful people. They were so helpful in the streets, helping us in restaurants, because let me tell you the truth, our Ukrainian is a little rusty. And so it's a beautiful city. You don't see any signs of war, and actually that surprised us because Ukraine's still in a war, but Kyiv is beautiful, safe, and the people there are great.
I would definitely recommend this clinic and during wartime. And the reason I say this is because the service is very good in terms of being met, at the train station, taken to accommodation, you feel looked after. It is eye-opening, it is interesting, it is different in wartime than how it is in peacetime. But what has been really incredible to me is how the clinic has managed to maintain its exceptional quality of service over this time. And that's something which is very inspiring and should inspire other, business people and so on, the exceptional service at such a time.
Also ich kann nur an die Menschen appellieren, die jetzt...
I can appeal to people who are now afraid to travel to Ukraine. You can do it. Just respect the entry conditions, behave well, and follow the current regulations and guidelines, and nothing will happen to you. We personally drove here by car, we waited at the border, and we were thoroughly checked, but this is their culture, where there is currently martial law, and this needs to be respected. Once you are here, there's nothing to fear. Just follow the instructions during an air raid, find shelter. The devil is not as scary as he is painted in this case. Therefore, I can recommend, if you want to take this step, just do it. Don't be afraid.
Yo recomiendo al 100% esto.
I 100% recommend going for it. Yes, it was a difficult journey, and it has been for many people too, but for me, it's the best option. Right now, this country is in a very challenging situation, and when we arrived here, we tried to take care of ourselves, going down to the shelter when necessary. But where we are being taken care of. So, we are really happy here and in this situation.
We are from London. We were a little bit afraid. I think it's because you don't really understand the true situation when you're abroad. Obviously, you just see the news, and although we knew Kyiv was safe, I think we were still a bit worried. But actually, since we've come here, we're so surprised that it feels very normal, and we're in a lovely area here which feels very safe, and we've met lots of people, lots of lovely other couples from abroad, but also we've met so many locals that we chat to all the time in coffee shops and restaurants, and yeah, we love being in Kyiv.
O meu conselho é, se realmente o casal sentir que quer muito.
My advice to everyone is this: if you truly feel that you strongly want a child, that the time has come and you don't want to miss your chance, come without any doubts and seek out information. If you have questions, contact a manager or the doctors. There is always someone who can ease your concerns. Having a child is a unique experience, an amazing journey that happens only once. Infertile couples go through many hardships and failures, and in the end, we realize that it is worth it. And it truly is worth it. I've experienced many emotions in my life, but having a child is the strongest and most vivid of them all.